What's up, everybody? Welcome back to
Hey,
Average Guys. We're talking football.
always.
This is our 2024-2025 prediction video. So we're recording this right before. So today's Thursday, September, whatever day it is, 5th.
September
And
5th, baby.
and we are recording this video right before the first game of the 2024-25 season.
We're so back.
We're so back. So back. And so we're going to do a little bit of predictions. We're going to focus mostly on the AFC North because, as you can see, Rye Guy's repping Pittsburgh. I'm repping WMMS from Cleveland. And so we're going to talk about what
Right.
we think is going to happen this season. And we can kind of start with week one. Or no, before we even go there, I want to know, Rye, what are your thoughts and feelings based on the preseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I definitely think they have some concerns. There's already some injury issues on the offensive line,
Mm.
and of course, we're kind of lacking in receiver depth. But I think the offense has the opportunity to be much more dynamic than it has in the past 3 to 5 years, basically. And Um, obviously the defense is going to be top three at least if healthy. So
Top three predictions. Okay.
yeah, that's a bold one right off the bat.
It is a bold one,
I
but hey,
think
you know what?
health is definitely a factor, but
Yeah.
they can keep it together, man. That's the top three defense right there.
Oh, for sure. No, yeah, I
Especially
actually
the
agree with you.
addition of Patrick Queen.
Yeah,
That's gonna help.
I think that's a really great addition for them. And I actually agree with you on this one that if they stay healthy, they can be a top three defense. But I also believe that they'll be second place in their division in defense. But we'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
what
well,
happens. We'll talk more about that in a
we
second. So
might be
you, all right,
missing with our heart on that one, but
we'll see. If the reigning defensive player of the year has anything to say about it. I know I just opened a can of worms there. We can talk about that later too.
big one.
Um, so all right, so they're going to be a little more explosive on offense. They got the slight upgrade at quarterback, but upgrade nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean Russ is a good game manager. At this
Mhm.
point, he's not going to turn the ball over, and he can still throw a major deep ball. One of the best deep balls in the league still.
One of the highest arcing deep balls in the league. He'll throw it
Yeah,
up there. He'll get that thing up there so long people forget that it even is coming back.
GP's out there somewhere.
Uh,
um,
and what about these wide receivers though? Like, who's he gonna like? I know you got George Pickens, but what? That's it?
well, they do have Van Jefferson, and it's kind of bleak behind. It's kind of bleak behind George Pickens, if you ask me. But I have a feeling that Van Jefferson is going to surprise some people, and they just drafted Roman Wilson out of Michigan. He could be a nice slot guy,
What have
and
you seen from him? What have you seen from him in the preseason?
he's actually been injured
Mm,
pretty much all preseason. But
uh,
Arthur, I should add that Arthur Smith, the new offensive coordinator, loves to use his tight ends.
I bet.
So, so I think so I think we have a big year from Pat Fryermuth, and
But does he though? Does he though? Because isn't there like some guy on the Falcons who's a really good tight end and who barely got used at all?
well,
What's his name?
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. Isn't
That's
he
the main
somebody?
thing
And
for
they're
them.
just like, hey, now that finally he's gotten rid of his terrible offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, maybe somebody's actually going to use him for once. And
Well,
Bijan
he wasn't.
Robinson's like,
He
yeah,
was.
right.
He wasn't good. He wasn't good the year before Arthur Smith came in. Anyways,
You're not very bullish on Kyle Pitts.
no, I don't think anybody is.
I think I've heard people talking about him like they
Been a
think he's
huge
gonna be a big
letdown.
deal. Yeah. Yeah, I know he's been. But we'll see. Maybe the slightly upgraded quarterback in Atlanta will be a thing too.
Kirko Bangs.
Hey, bang bang. So, all right. So, what's going on in that running back room though? What are your predictions
Oh,
there?
dude, it's
Because
gonna. That could be one of the best too.
You
The
think?
1-2 punch of Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. I mean,
Wow.
that was the strength last year, so I think we could build on that. And
Hey, I had
this
Najee
offense is
Harris.
going to be a run first, a punch you in the face sort of style, like
Yeah, I see that.
beat the guy, straight up beat the guy across from you sort of thing.
I see that. But I will say this, that I had Najee Harris on my fantasy team last year, and it was not top in the league. Like, I think, in my opinion, your hope is in Jalen Warren, that he can be as close to Jahmyr Gibbs as he can. But I have a feeling Najee Harris, I feel like, I don't know, man. I haven't seen anything from him that makes me feel encouraged about him.
Well, he's had 1,000 yards rushing each year since he's been in the league, and I think that this is going to be his best offensive line and his best scheme since he's been in the league. So I'm predicting. I don't know. I'm not predict. I don't know where he's gonna be in comparison to the rest of the league, but this is gonna be his best year statistically.
Cool. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I hope at least for week one he doesn't, because I'm facing him. He's on your dad's team in fantasy, and I'm facing him week one. So hopefully he has a slow start to the season, but then hey, cool. If he figures it out, it is what it is. One thing we know for sure is he'll be able to break off a few big runs against the Browns.
Yeah, because he's not. The sorry, I lost my train of thought. But
You're good. And I say that with the feeling that the
but
Browns
why? Why do you
defense.
say that?
Well, I say that while also saying I think the Browns defense are going to be top one or two this year.
Hey, can we pause recording for a second?
Nope.
No, I,
Yeah. Why? What's up here? I
I
don't know how to
gotta
pause.
I gotta let my dog out.
Oh, who let the dogs out?
Okay,
All
never
right,
mind.
why? Show us off your average guy athletic abilities.
Never mind. She's
No,
out.
did she find her own way out?
My mom.
Oh, that's cool. Um, I do believe that the Browns defense is going to be top one or two this year if they can stay healthy. I think that they could. I think they really could be top one or two this year if they stay healthy.
Tell me about your concerns for the Browns.
And I will. But here's one thing with the Browns defense is
Okay.
they're always like you can always count on the Browns defense to give up a few big runs in like almost every game.
Yeah,
Like
that's what we were talking about earlier when I had a brain fart.
yeah, yeah. Like for whatever reason, like our Browns defense can be just dominant 98% of the time, but then like out of nowhere, there's going to be one or two plays where they just look like they're just completely lost, and whoever's running the ball just runs by everybody, gets a massive hole and nobody in sight. So they're good for those a couple times a year. So
Didn't they make some sort of upgrade in the secondary though?
did they make some sort of upgrade to the secondary?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, they had to replace two linebackers. I wouldn't call it an upgrade. I'd call it like a maybe kind of even, and it wouldn't be for
But
the
you got
past.
Devin Bush, huh?
Yeah,
Devin Bush.
Devin. We picked up Devin Bush, and we picked up not Jordan Hicks. Um, man, I can't remember his name.
We're just a couple average guys. Don't worry.
This is why we're average. This is why we're at. This is definitely why we're average. Hold on, let's see. I'll tell you here in a second. But you know what? Average guys can look stuff up on Google. It's pretty easy. Yeah, Jordan Hicks. Exactly what I said. So Devin Bush and Jordan Hicks, they're the new guys that we brought in this year. I think that Jordan Hicks can be a slight upgrade in the run game. I think that Devin Bush is just a complete question mark. We'll see. He looked
Yeah.
pretty good at times in the preseason, but that's the preseason.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is that we are feeling a little bit better about Mohamed Diabite. Diabite. He's been kind of our practice squad guy for a couple of years now, but he's shown continuous improvement, and he's got the body for it. He's just a big dude, and we could always use that. He's a
Of course,
flyer.
that defensive line's gonna show up.
Yeah, bro. And everybody's healthy again, so we'll see.
So
So all right, let's get this back on track. We were talking preseason, but then we got to get into the season too, right? So now I'll just finish up these thoughts about the Browns off season, their preseason. I think that they made a really good upgrade, or they got a really good pickup in Jamari Thrash at wide receiver, and I think that they're
Bill.
yeah, yeah. I think they're going to. secretly, like under the radar, have a really good receiving staff this year. Between Amari Cooper, I think Jerry Judy's gonna have a breakout year. Elijah Moore had a breakout year last year, and it still seemed like he had a lot left to give. I think people are gonna be sleeping on Elijah Moore and Jerry Judy, and I think people also underestimate how good Amari Cooper is. He's just super reliable. Like if you need to get a first down, Amari Cooper will get open and he will catch it, even if it's contested.
Mhm.
So there's that. I
I
think
would
that
say that's the strength of the team. Plus David Njoku.
David Njoku is a yard after catch monster. So, and they figured out how to use him finally, and it has nothing to do with Deshaun Watson or Joe Flacco, because that's what I hear everybody say. Everyone's like, "Oh man, Njoku wasn't good until Joe Flacco got there," and it's like that's not true. And it wasn't. It had nothing to do with the quarterback. It was the way that he was being used, and they figured out how to use David Njoku in that Ravens game, and you could see it because the first half of the game it was just like a normal like nothing special game. That second half, like they went into that halftime and they said, "Hey, we need to try something," and they did. You can see how they implement it in the second half. And Njoku, from that point on, was on fire, and that was including that second half with Deshaun Watson, broken arm and everything. And so I think that Njoku is going to have a monster year. Like this is going to be his biggest year yet. And it had nothing to do with Joe Flacco or any, it's just the Browns figured out how to use them. And that my last point, no, my last 2 points on the offensive side is I think Deshaun Watson is going to be way better this year than everybody thinks. I know a lot of people love to talk about Deshaun's falling off, Deshaun's nah, da, da. No, I think he took the time. He was smart. It wasn't that he was smart because he kind of fucked up last year anyways. Because he should have stayed out. He should have never came back for that Indianapolis game, but he tried to force himself back too early. But they were smart. He did what Baker Mayfield would not do. Whenever he got injured and realized it was like a real injury that requires surgery, instead of trying to like just force himself on the field and playing mediocre, he allowed himself to get off the field, go get surgery, get all this time to heal, get tons of time for rehab. And I know everybody's freaking out because, oh, Deshaun Watson didn't play in that last preseason game, or Deshaun Watson missed practice that one time. It's like, dude, they're professional athletes. Literally everybody on the team is taking a day off because of soreness. They're just giving him a day off towards the end of the preseason so he gets that little bit of extra time. And I've listened to Stefanski talk about him. I've listened to Deshaun talk about it. I've listened to Deshaun's quarterback coach talk about it and his teammates. And you can get a sense when somebody's like bullshitting you, you know? But when you
Right.
listen to these guys, they're like, nah, he's
Lip
good,
service.
you know? But like
Yeah.
you can feel that confidence from everybody. And it's like, yeah, I've seen him make some awesome plays. I know he hasn't been consistent yet. I know he's missed time, but the only time like the only time he missed from injury was last year. Besides that, he doesn't have a huge injury history. He had the injury in college, but besides that, Deshaun Watson like hasn't missed games. He isn't an injury prone quarterback. He got that freak injury last year, which sucks, and it just happened to come the year after he had to face a big suspension. But I feel really good about how he's going to play this year. The only
Mhm.
question mark on our team is our offensive line. How are they going to hold up?
Yeah.
And then our running backs, which I also really
Yeah.
like going forward.
Jed Wills is out, right?
Jed is going to play on Sunday, but he's not going to start. He came back to practice yesterday.
Hey, one sec. I'll show you my athletic abilities.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. This is like this is like the point of the Guardians game whenever ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise race each other.
Oh,
Are you gonna like walk through the screen? It's Lighthouse. You should really make your bed, man. This is a
well,
intermission. This episode is not brought to you by Snickers. They
and
haven't
we're
paid us
back.
yet, but if they wanted to, we could advertise Snickers here. As of right now, we're not affiliated. This episode is also brought to you by walking shoes. Walking shoes. They help you walk, and it feels good. And we're back here on the podcast after our commercial break. Here we got Ryan coming around the third quarter, sitting down. Here comes his butt to the seat, and he's down. Here's the spin. Ryan, how did that feel?
I feel like I got a recharge.
Hey, sometimes you got to get up and walk around and
Yeah.
get that blood flowing.
take it from the game.
Yeah. So yeah, last thing we said was, I feel good about. I think the biggest question mark is going to be that offensive line and our running game. I really like Jerome Ford, but we don't know what Nick Chubb. We don't know what Nick Chubb is going to be when he comes back. I do want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he is Nick Chubb. Like he has proven that he's just a freak of nature in every single way. So why not give him that benefit of the doubt here too? But besides that, like we don't know what Deontay Foreman's going to be. We don't know. We pretty much already know what Pierre Strong is. Pierre Strong can get tackled by a gust of wind in the backfield. He's quick and explosive, so we'll see what happens there. So that's that. And then as far as the defense goes, I already said it. Like I think they're going to be top one or two. I think the Steelers will be a top three, and I think the Browns will be better.
Yeah.
I think the Browns and the Steelers are going to be the toughest defenses. Like they might even be 1 and 2 in the league. We'll see.
Well, Cleveland has a good litmus test to start off the season against Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a nationally televised game, as everyone's going to be watching because Tom Brady's first game announcing.
Yeah,
so
man. And,
I
and
can't wait to watch it.
and Miles Garrett is going up against a rookie, bro. Could you imagine your first NFL game? I mean, I can't imagine a first NFL game at all because I'm too average. But imagine being a rookie in your first game in the NFL. You got to go up against Miles Garrett. So hopefully, oh yeah, hopefully we'll see some explosions. We'll see a bunch of sacks. I do think that the Browns are going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be an easy game, but I think obviously the Cowboys are going to put up a fight, but I just think that our defensive line is going to overwhelm theirs. And I don't I think that we've got the advantage there. And like I said, I think we've got so many weapons on offense that even though their defense is their defensive line is really good, their secondary is not as good as ours, and we'll be able to expose that because we got so many guys out there that can get open, and they're missing their number one cornerback. So you're gonna have a rookie covering either Amari Cooper or Jerry Jeudy or something like that, and it's just lunchtime, baby.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Well,
Like I said, our biggest question mark in this game is going to be our offensive line and our running game. And I think the offensive line isn't so much because of the running game. It's more of how are they going to pass protect, and two, are they going to get a bunch of penalties? If we can limit the penalties and stay ahead of the sticks, we're good. I feel really, really good about our chances. But if we come out and we keep getting a bunch of illegal formations or false starts, like that's going to screw everything. Like that's
I mean, that's pretty general for everybody if you shoot yourself in the foot.
For sure. Yeah. I just think that there's a little bit less. I think there's maybe a little bit more likely of a chance that we do that because our offensive line hasn't been healthy throughout the entire preseason. They haven't had a chance to all practice with Ken Dorsey. And we're probably going to end up starting Jack Conklin on the left side, which he hasn't done it since Obama was president. So, and he's never done it in the NFL. He's only done it in college.
Yeah, you're
So,
gonna have to limit Micah Parsons.
but I also think that Deshaun is athletic enough to, I mean, you're not going to eliminate Micah Parsons. Like he's going to be a factor. Deshaun's going to get sacked. There's no doubt in my mind. Like that's going to happen for sure. But I do think that Deshaun is enough of an athlete and he has enough weapons available that he can hurt him a few times instead of getting that sack,
Right. Well, we'll see. It's gonna be there's a whole lot of newness on the offense too with Dorsey, and so you never know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it comes down to execution. I'm talking very general right now, but I'm just average.
You got to want it.
Yeah.
Want it, whoever wants it the most.
But yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. The only the only concern is the offensive line, and the run game. But I mean, I don't think Dallas has much of a run game as right now. Anyway.
No, bro, no way. Not like Zeke's gonna come out, and I don't feel that bullish on Dalvin Cook either. I think they're both just kind of overcoached, So, all right. So who do the Steelers play week 1?
Yeah, so I'll preview that a little bit. They play Atlanta. Kind of the same kind of concerns you have with the Browns. I have with the Steelers. We have a lot of youth on the offensive line because our best guard is out for a couple of weeks. Isaac Siamalu has a pec injury, so he's going to be week to week.
He got attacked by a bird.
Pretty much.
Pack
That's what he
injury.
does. That's what he does after practice.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so we have a second year guy starting at guard, and then we have a rookie center making his first debut. His first you know, I was gonna say premiere, but debut it is. First game. And then our tackle situation is up in limbo because we got some injuries there as well. But they say an offensive line's best friend is the run game. So if we can just run to make the guys more comfortable, I think that that'll open up the pass game for George Pickens and Pat Frymuth to have some splash plays towards the end of the game. But again, if the offensive line doesn't execute, then we could be in for a long one. And on the other side, you know, they got a new Atlanta's got a new offensive coordinator as well off the Sean McVay tree, so that offense could be very tricky and explosive. So week one with the new offense, there's going to be a lot of mystery, a lot of challenges. I sound like a coach right now, but yeah, we just have to.
You got the cross arm down.
We have to put pressure on Kirk Cousins because he's coming off of AC or Achilles, either ACL or Achilles. But yeah, just put pressure on Kirk. I do have questions about our secondary depth going in to the season, but if Alex Highsmith, T.J. Watt, and Patrick Queen could put pressure on the quarterback consistently, that will give Micah Fitzpatrick free roaming, and that'll open up for more turnovers, which would make it easier for the offense. So, I mean, yeah, I think even though we have a new offense and hey, calm down.
Bro, you jumped.
I know.
You can see the soul.
Scared the crap out of me. But yeah, we gotta, like I said, we gotta start with the running game, and hopefully that opens things up and makes things more comfortable for Russ. And we'd be pretty foolish not to have a Justin Fields package thrown in there somewhere, on the red zone or something.
Yeah. Do you think that by the end of the year, who's the starting quarterback by the end of the year?
I think it's still Russ.
Yeah.
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 I don't see him. I mean, unless he gets hurt, which he very well could.
Hopefully not. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Hopefully he's just on the bench by the end of the year because of poor play.
Hopefully, huh?
As from a Browns fan's perspective. But no, I mean honestly, I honestly would be more concerned if Fields was the starter. I think I would be more worried about the Steelers if Fields were your starter.
Yeah, because he adds a whole nother element of athleticism, but athleticism, alliteration.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, yeah, anyway, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, what do you think the division looks like at the end of the year? What's the standings in our division in the AFC North?
I'm gonna say Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati.
It's more Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. You know what's funny? I have a really controversial take here on what I think the standings is going to be, and mine is actually the exact opposite of yours. I think it's going to be Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore.
Wow.
Digest that a little bit. What do you think? What comes to mind when you hear that? I know it's a controversial take. Nobody else is going to say that.
So who you have winning? When you say you have winning, Cleveland?
Cincy.
Cincy, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. How many of those teams make the playoffs? Just two, Cincy and Cleveland?
It's a toss-up, and maybe Pittsburgh too. But it's hard. But that's what makes it hard. It's hard to imagine Baltimore not making the playoffs. But I think that Baltimore's going to see a serious regression this year. And I think that Cincy by far has the easiest schedule in our division. And Cincy's going to be good. Like that's just like they had a bad year last year because
It all depends on Joe Burrow's health, but
Mhm.
I mean I hope I'm wrong because I don't want to see Cincy finish last, but
Yeah, obviously, yeah, it comes down to
I
health every
you know what my
absolutely.
hot take is? I think the whole division is going to regress. You know, everybody's saying that we have the best. The AFC North is the most talented and the toughest division in the league, and it's being hyped. I don't think it's going to match the hype.
So who do you think is going to be the toughest division in the league?
I think 10-7 wins the division.
Gotcha. But what do you think is going to be the toughest division in the league then? Who's taking the AFC North's throne?
I'm gonna go with the. Hold on, let me do some.
Yeah. I
No, I
Mhm.
the NFC, not the South.
What are the teams?
Um, San Francisco, Seattle, Arizona, and wow,
Hold up. I've got you. I'm going to tell you here in just a second.
this is
The
what
Rams. So the
yeah,
LA
Rams.
Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the best division in the league.
Interesting.
It's the NFC. It's not the
That's the
South.
NFC West.
Yeah, NFC West. NFC West is gonna be the best division.
Interesting. I think that the AFC North is going to continue to reign supreme, but
I'm not saying they're gonna be bad. I'm saying they're gonna not. They're not. People are gonna be surprised and let down a little bit.
well, yeah, we'll see. I think the AFC North is going to remain the toughest division. I think that their biggest competition comes from either the AFC East or the or the NFC North. So AFC East would be the Jets, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Bills. I think more likely I think their biggest competition would actually end up being the NFC North, which would be the Bears, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Lions. But we'll
Yeah,
see. Like I said, I think that the AFC North is going to remain they're going to remain supreme, in my
I don't know,
opinion.
man. I just have this weird feeling that there's just everyone's gonna play down
Mm.
something. Maybe it's the preseason juice
Yeah,
getting into
everybody's
my
still on the
head.
preseason juice, and it's because the Steelers are going to play down. No, 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 no. The Steelers are going to be a little better this year because I do think that Russ is upgrade over Pickett, but they're not going to be the Steelers of the past. I think honestly, the Steelers they should have taken advantage of this and just like had a like one or two bomb years so that they can get some really good draft picks and then reload around that defense. Like I think that they're kind of wasting their defense's potential a little bit by trying to patchwork this thing to remain relevant. Like they should really just go get those picks for a couple of years and then come right back and be Super Bowl contenders.
Nah, I
Right
mean,
now they're like right now they're like I hope they make the playoff contenders. But like do you think the Steelers have a chance to win the Super Bowl?
yeah.
Like obviously literally everybody has a chance, but like do you really think that the Steelers could come away with the Super Bowl in the next few years?
Next few years, yes.
Hmm.
If probably 2000. I would say winning a playoff game this year and winning the Super Bowl next year.
Interesting. Now here's the litmus test. Do you think that the Browns could win a Super Bowl in the next few years?
I mean, I don't think no. I don't think Deshaun's the guy.
See, this is exactly why I can't take your opinion seriously. This is exactly why when you say the Steelers going to win a Super Bowl, I'm just like, Steelers fan.
Well,
Steelers fan. They don't even think the Browns stand a chance in the next couple of years, but the Steelers do.
all right. Well, no. Give me a 3-year window on the Steelers because here's what's gonna happen. I think either they find their guy this year between Russ or Justin. Like they find the long term guy. 'Cause if you think about it, in quarterback years, Russell Wilson isn't that old. He's 35.
Yeah, I get your
You
point.
you play in your 40s
Mhm.
nowadays. Especially he spends $1 million on his body.
Yeah,
Or
but besides Tom Brady, how many of those guys are good that late into their career? Are Super Bowl contenders that late into their career?
well,
Hmm.
I mean that remains to be seen. I mean,
All right. So unless
Kurt
Russ
Warner
is the
went to.
next Tom Brady,
I mean, Tom Brady's a freak of a nature in his own.
exactly. Yeah, that's why it's hard to
But
hear that like, oh, Russ, he could still play for 5 years. I'm like, yeah, as a backup.
not 5. No, not 5 years. I'm talking a 3-year window here.
Hmm.
3 years, because there's a lot of solid talent coming out of the draft next year too. That are
Hmm.
pro. I think are going to be pro ready guys.
Hmm.
So Justin Fields could get some time, and he could prove that he's the guy, and we can go with him, which I think you could win with Justin Fields.
Super Bowl.
Um, no, I
Hmm.
don't know.
You see that hesitation?
I'm
Just
all right.
no.
I'm retracting a little bit.
You
I,
know, bro.
but
Yeah.
I don't think Cleveland's a contender either, though.
No, it's amazing. What like because of Deshaun?
Yeah, I don't. He's got to prove a little more than just one game to me. I mean,
No, I get it. I get it, and he will. I totally get that. Yeah, like I think that what we've seen from him from Cleveland isn't enough to convince somebody. I just think I have a gift to see the real deal when I know it.
um,
I think he's gonna have a massive bounce back year. They're never gonna give him the most improved player because they like that would just be really controversial. But you put all his off the field stuff aside, he like he's still Deshaun Watson and he's not that far removed. And he has been practicing and training and playing. It's not like he's been away with an injury for all this time. He's been away just because he like that suspension, which is obviously a big deal. But we're just talking football right now, right? But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I'm kind of honestly, I'd be nervous if Jameis got the call for some reason for if
Interesting.
Deshaun, because he
Yeah.
can move the ball.
Mm. That's interesting. You and I kind of have the same, like similar feelings towards the other team, like, right? Like we both think that we'd be more scared of the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, yeah, bro, we'll see what happens. I think so again, just to wrap this up, um I think that the division ends with Cincy, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I think Pittsburgh and Baltimore could be interchangeable. I'm not sure. I think three teams make it to the playoffs, and I think that the Browns make it to the AFC championship game, but not to the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And all right, and so for
I had um Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and Cincinnati are interchangeable.
we'll see, man. And then and then the playoff pictures, how far into the playoffs do the Steelers make it? Who makes it to the AFC championship game?
I'm gonna say Houston and Kansas City,
Houston, Kansas City?
and
Yeah, Houston. Yeah, man, Houston's a little scary too, but we'll see.
the Steelers win a wild card game, and yeah,
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's it. Those are our predictions for the year. We basically feel the same way about each other's teams. And I feel maybe I'm a little more bullish on the Browns than you are on the Steelers this year because you said that the Steelers will win a wild card game, and I said that the Browns will go to the AFC Championship game.
yeah,
But yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Tonight's game one. Who's playing tonight?
Kansas City and Baltimore.
Kansas City and Baltimore. All right, so we get a first look at what this Baltimore team looks like, and we'll see if my predictions, which nobody else is gonna feel this way, like everybody else has Baltimore as like one of the best teams in the NFL. I think they're going to take a steep regression. They're still going to be competitive. Like they're still going to win games. I like obviously I believe that the AFC North is the best division in football still. Um, but so like whoever comes in last place in the AFC North is still going to be a really good team. I just think that the Baltimore Ravens are going to take a regression because of their offensive line. I'm not that bullish on Derrick Henry. I think that he's not the same player he used to be. And I think that they don't have a lot of wide receiver. Like they don't have very many targets for Lamar. I think their tight end is old. I mean, obviously
They got
still
Zay
one.
Flowers.
Zay Flowers, cool. Yeah, it's like saying the Steelers have George Pickens and cricket, cricket, cricket. So I mean, I think the Steelers, they've got Jalen Warren. I think that Jalen Warren still like he could be something. Um,
Pat Frymuth is gonna put up wide receiver 2 numbers.
yeah. Oh, we'll see. Yeah, hey, cool. Um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And I think that the Bengals, I'm the least sure about them because I'm not sure. like that injury to Joe Burrow last year was scary because it wasn't a contact injury. Like he just threw the ball and his arm like he couldn't throw it anymore. Like that's a scary injury to me.
Yeah, could,
So
could end his career, to be honest.
honestly, like he could. It's I hope not. I hope that he comes back to be Joe Burrow again.
Me
It.
too. He's my quarterback in my main fantasy league.
Nice. We'll talk about that in another video too. But
Yeah, cool,
there's a
cool.
chance that like yeah, I mean, after an injury like that, I don't know. There's a chance that it doesn't become the same quarterback again. But they've still got a really good defense. They've still got they've got Jamar Chase. Hopefully, it seems like they're working out a deal with him. I know people think that they might lose him, but I think they're going to find a way to sign Jamar Chase. They've still got T. Higgins for another year, and I think T. Higgins is going to have a really good year. Joe Burrow can stay healthy. I think that they will be a real like they'll be one or two in our division,
Yeah, I agree.
but
But
that's a big
I'm
if.
I'm kind of skeptic on his health, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. So that's this video. We're going to end it because we're at 40 minutes already. And so thanks anybody watching,
Damn.
listening, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know where you think we're wrong, where we're right. You can call me an idiot for my prediction of Baltimore Ravens coming in fourth in the division. I can take it, but I believe it and we'll see. We'll debate it. So cool. End the call.